Hello, SAFHER community. Welcome to another video in our SAFHER demo series. Today, we're going to talk about creating and associating revenue codes. So today, we're going to be covering the revenue code type creation. We'll be working in the admin console, and we're going to talk about configuring those revenue code types. And then we're going to go over how to associate those revenue code types to a program type in the admin console. Remember that the program type is the authority to operate. We're talking about licenses, permits, certifications, etc. In this case, we're going to be associating a revenue code to a particular license type. So here we are in the admin console in SAFHER, where I am logged in as an administrator. As we come down here to the revenue code type management, I'll select that, and you'll see this grid of existing revenue codes. Now, I've gone ahead and pre-configured a couple of revenue codes, but when I go into the edit function over here, I'll show you how those are set up. But I want to draw your attention first to the top here, where we have common functionality across most of our grids, where you can sort and filter this grid by any of the selections up here. Also is the Add New button. So as you are creating a new revenue code, you would select the Add New and begin the process of adding that new revenue code. So back to our list of revenue codes, and assuming that I had hit the Add New, I would pop up with the screen to complete the information. And I'll open up this first revenue code that I set up, and this is the late fee for an animal food feed license. So I have brought that up here for you to see. And the first thing we have to do is insert what we intend to show on the screen as the display name, and then give it a description. We're going to determine here whether it's a late fee or not. In this case, because it is a late fee, I've selected that. And then you'll see that I can set up what that fee is, the initial fee, and then what the late fee percentage is. So in this case, 50%. I associate this animal food feed license late fee to a revenue code category. And our options in this dropdown are, for an inspection, a program, or a tonnage report. In this case, it's a program. As you recall, the program just designates that this is, a license, a certificate, a registration, etc. And then we assign what the revenue code actually is. So the revenue code, and there's a identifier in here. You can see these question marks that give you some information on how to populate these fields or instruction as needed. In this case, it's an alphanumeric field, and you identify what that revenue code is that you would get from your fiscal department. And then you select whether it's active or inactive. So I've made this a late fee revenue code for this animal feed license late fee active. So now I'll come down into the primary license fee to set up the revenue code for this animal food license fee. And we come over here to the edit revenue code so that I can show you how this was set up. So once again, we've added a display name and a description. In this instance, we've marked that it is not the late fee, and we've assigned the revenue code category to a program, as we did the other one. And we've put in the minimum fee and that fee amount of $25. And we've updated the late fee revenue code that we can select out of a dropdown. This is the revenue code that we just created to signify the late fee. Once we created that, it populated in this dropdown so that it's selectable. We named this revenue code for the primary revenue code that we're creating right now to 357 animal food license fee. And we make it active. And once we submit that, it becomes active in the system. Now, as an internal user, if I were to go in, which I've already done and I'll show you, but if I go into this license, so I have this facility, Jacob's Feed Mill and Warehouse, and we had created a program application for this animal feed license. And so I already accomplished this, but I can click into that application and show you how this was done. So here's the application. And if I click into the payments for this, you can see that the revenue code that we created, 357 animal food license fee, shows up here in the payment. So this allows us to track all the payments that get associated with the revenue code that we just created. That's all I have for you today on creating and associating revenue code types with program types. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to sharing another SAFHER demo series with you in the near future.